Man, what a mess.
Twisty map. The twisty map. So. Boy already went to the park.
Okay. Oh, that's louder than I was expecting. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reptile Gardens. My name is Harmony. I'll be doing the bird show for you guys. Before we get started, I just want to tell you about some other things that you can see in the park. First off, in here at 11:30, we'll be having our next snake show. So if you haven't seen it yet, the guys have some pretty awesome critters in here. I highly recommend you come and check it out. They've got really cool shows for you guys. Other things to see, there's the obvious dome in the center of our park that has most of our critters in it. Back in this corner, we do have Avian Avenue that is mostly closed for this year, but St. John, our king vulture, is on display, and he absolutely loves attention. So if you can, spare him a few minutes and go down and say hi. He doesn't get as much love since he's in the corner. Back in this direction, we have our giant tortoises. Tucked in next to them is Cheyenne, our bald eagle. And then we have Tortuga Falls, where we have our laughing kookaburras on display. So definitely go and see those too. But with all that out of the way, I'll be introducing you guys to birds of prey, or raptors. This includes eagles, hawks, falcons, owls, and vultures. I'll be showing you 4 of those kinds. Eagles don't really fit well in these boxes. Some of the birds you'll see are native to the United States and protected by the Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918. This law makes it illegal to catch, harass, or kill any native or migratory bird. This includes taking parts like feathers. Birds like blue jays and robins are protected by this law. So before you go pick up robin's eggs or any feathers off the ground, make sure you know where they're coming from. But y'all didn't come to listen to me talk about laws. I'm just legally required to tell you. I'm going to go ahead and bring out our first bird for you guys. And the first bird is what a lot of people expect when they think of a bird of prey, and that would be a type of hawk. This guy's quite handsome, even if he is grumpy. There we go. There we go.
Where's that one?
This handsome fella is an African auger buzzard, and some of you are probably confused because I called him a buzzard, but told you I was bringing a hawk out. And that's because only in the United States and Canada do we use the word buzzard to refer to vultures. Everywhere else, that is the word that they use for hawk. So it's kind of like soccer versus football. You know, we call it soccer, or what else calls it football. Same concept. So he is a buzzard, but he is also a hawk. That's what we would probably call him. These guys are native to Western and Central Africa, and are very cool animals to look at. He's a great example of what we call the 3 sharps. These are 3 characteristics that separate birds of prey from other birds. Sharp eyesight, powerful feet with sharp talons, and that sharp beak. Starting with their eyesight, most raptors can see 2 to 3 times better than a typical human. Some, like my hawk here, can see up to 8 times better than humans. This means that he could easily see rabbits along the top of those hills just right behind us there. Isn't that crazy? On top of that, he has good all the way across.
Did he just fly?
He could, but he eats naughty children, so we may not want him. I'm joking.
What?
He's like, what? But on top of that, he can't read, so you know, that kind of ruins that part. But secondly, those powerful feet and sharp talons. His feet are very strong, his talons are very sharp. It doesn't feel great on my bare skin, which is why I wear a glove when I work with these guys. He's got special muscles in his feet that he can lock in place, kind of like a ratchet strap. And it basically helps him hold on to slippery prey, like a snake or a fish. But also, if you're trying to sleep at night, you don't want to be knocked out of the tree for whatever reason, wind, another bird, or whatever. Place before he falls asleep. That way he's safe all night. He also has those beautiful yellow scales on his feet. And those scales basically work as plate armor.
It's not hard,
I kind of hinted at it earlier, but lots of hawk species are very well known for eating things like venomous snakes. That's why we don't do the snake show at the same time, because he would win. But because of that, he doesn't want to get bitten by those snakes and end up sick or dying himself. So those scales work as armor, and as the snake goes to bite at his feet, instead it brushes off those scales instead of penetrating into his softer skin. So it's very helpful. He also has that sharp, curved beak. The curvedness and the sharpness helps him get under the meat and the muscle of whatever he's trying to eat. To bite off more manageable, take a few more.
Why do you say
So that's where it's effective. And any questions about hawks in general? He's very handsome. A lot of people ask about his coloration, trying to steal his food. He's a lot harder to spot from above as well. A lot of animals use this trait, so that's the same reason that great white sharks and penguins are the colors that they are as well. And a lot of other birds have that counter shading too for the same purpose. So it's pretty effective. And also explains why penguins are black and white, because, every other logical answer doesn't make sense. So like I mentioned, he's got a very generic beak because he eats pretty much everything. The next bird I have for you is a very unique looking face. He is infamously known for eating very unique things. And this is a very common bird you can find in North America, so I can guarantee you pretty much everyone in the audience will have a good idea of who this guy is. They're pretty iconic.
What's that?
This is a turkey vulture, or a lot of people up here would call him a turkey buzzard, just like his. Very common birds in the United States. This time of year, they're typically found up north into Canada, South Dakota, northern top of the United States. And then in about October, they'll start flying down south into Florida and Mexico. They are semi-migratory. So my friend and I always tease that spring isn't when the flowers start blooming, it's when the vultures come back in April. So, works out well. They're pretty tough. A lot of times, people fly hundreds of feet in the air with their big, beautiful wings. One myth that I often hear is that if you see a group of vultures circling, it's because something died. It's not quite the case all the time. It is sometimes, but 90% of the time it's them using special air currents up in the air, basically as interstates, highways. And the reason that you see a bunch of them all together is it's kind of how it works. So typically it's now, I told you, these guys are infamously known for eating dead stuff, right? Lots of things like roadkill, dead stuff. It does. One way is the very iconic bald head that you guys know of with the vultures. If you ever had feathers all the way up to his beak like my hawk did, every time he went out to lunch, his face would get really gross, and then he has to spend hours trying to get all of that gunk out of his feathers. When you don't have hands,